Are the Phillies that good? We said that they had to wait till they were tested by the vaunted Los Angeles Dodgers. Well, they were. And they took 2 out of 3. Interesting weekend down at Citizens Bank Park. We're also talking Sixers. We're talking Eagles. It's Masters Week. Green Jacket on and all, guys. Trending the AM, we're live, taking your thoughts on opinions on everything in 30 seconds.
Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 woo!
Everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. We're live, YouTube, Twitter, you know the drill. Wherever you're watching, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and please share this show out on all platforms as the march to 500 subscribers continues to drag on. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel. Please joining you every single morning on this journey in the sports talk world. Please like and subscribe, guys. We got lots to talk about today. Phillies baseball on the agenda. We could talk Eagles. We could talk basketball. We could talk Masters. As I rock out I'm going to have my Masters green jacket on all week, despite the fact that you can see the sleeves. It does not fit, but this is Masters week, so we've got to rock it. Instead of just one day, every day this week, we'll see if I can hold up in this little tight fat man in a little coat kind of situation here, guys. So please like, share, subscribe. We're going to talk all about everything going on in the world of sports. We got comments already rolling in. So fortunate not to face Freeman or Snell or their best two relievers. Better than losing. Winning 2 out of 3 of the Phillies against the Braves is what Noom's talking about. Steven Fuentes, it's Masters Week. Phillies looked pretty damn good this weekend. Definitely room for improvement, but couldn't be happier with the start of the season. I like that comment as well. Good morning, Duck. How you doing today? Hope you are well as well. So, yes, the Philadelphia Phillies took 2 games out of 3 against the elite team of baseball, the Los Angeles Dodgers this weekend down to Citizens Bank Park. Phillies pretty much had 40-plus thousand fans every single day at the stadium, packing the house against the best team in baseball, the Los Angeles Dodgers, in theory. And they took care of business. And all last week, all opening week, all we talked about, they were just beating up on the Rockies. They were just beating up on the Nationals. Let's wait and see how they look against a great team like the Dodgers or the Braves later this week. Well, the Phillies went out there and took 2 out of 3 games against the Dodgers. And there was some good. There was some bad. And I think I could say I still don't have a conclusive mindset on whether this team is going to give us a fun run this summer or if this is just the same old Phillies. What's up, Anthony? Yeah, it's Masters Week. Got to break out don't you have a Masters green jacket? I mean, you only get one of these for winning the Masters, or if you find one on Temu or something like that. Good morning, Lil G. How you doing? After this weekend with the Phillies, I find myself still sitting here thinking that this is just the same team from last year. The same flaws still exist. But I think some of the flaws that this Phillies team has are different. And they have fixed some of them. I mean, they're walking at a great rate. They're striking out less than before. But this Phillies team still has fundamental flaws in their plate approach. Alec Bohm sat yesterday. Fredmundo Sosa, who's red hot right now. Alec Bohm has not changed at all. Brandon Marsh, we're already ditching the Brandon Marsh is an everyday center fielder theory. We're already ditching the Trey Turner leadoff idea. We're already ditching some of the things that we talked about this offseason that need to change for this team to be special, like World Series special. But but there are changes that this team has made that make me believe maybe their approach has changed a little bit, that they might be a little bit better this year. So I want to know what everyone else thinks of this. This weekend, taking 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers should put a massively positive spin, with where we're at right now. I'm not sure if it is or not, but it should. Obviously, after this weekend, the bullpen is going to be a major topic of concern and talk this week. The bullpen is not complete at this point. The bullpen has holes in it. Obviously, Jordan Romano looks more like Corky Romano out there. Something's wrong there. Alvarado, while he looked good this weekend against the Dodgers, was shaky last week. Outside of Alvarado and Matt Strahm and Orion Kirkring, this bullpen's got some serious issues. I know everyone's calling for David Robertson, and I know he's still out there. Maybe that is an issue. Maybe that is something that you look at to fix that issue. Those first road series for West Coast teams rarely go well. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree with this. The series did not disappoint. Except for in one area, Big Al. And good morning to you, Big Al and Nooms. The disappointment for me was I expected to have answers in my mind, for me personally, about where this Phillies team stands through 9 games. And this Phillies team is still standing where I thought they were, where I still need more information. Aaron Nola gave up a couple homers. I think Aaron Nola on Saturday is getting way too much crap for his performance. Goes 6 innings, gives up 3 runs. When Cristopher Sanchez gave up 4 yesterday, also with the home run ball. But everybody gives Cristopher Sanchez a standing ovation as he walks off the mound. Like, seriously. Why is there so much hate towards Aaron Nola, who goes out there and battles against a dominant Dodgers offense, and the offense doesn't show up in that game? But Cristopher Sanchez gets a standing O as he's leaving the field, giving up more runs and less innings. Like, I do make that one make sense to me. Romano is definitely a concern. Corky Romano is definitely a concern. The whole bullpen to me. I'm not sold on Jose Alvarado as a closer. I'm concerned. I am concerned about the bullpen. And I was concerned about the bullpen for months now. And I've been talking about the bullpen. Hey, yo, Booch, it's Masters week. The Masters starts Thursday. Come on. You got to rock the Masters green jacket. You have to win a Masters to get one of these. So, or you got to steal it from somebody. Turner Sosa in center field. Look, Edmundo Sosa is red hot. Edmundo Sosa can play a lot of positions. I don't know much about his center field. I know he dabbled in it this weekend. Remember something about Edmundo Sosa, guys. Edmundo Sosa, look at his month-by-month splits last year. We were talking about getting Sosa every day at bats last year as well. And then he leveled out and then fell back down to earth. Edmundo Sosa is an elite first guy off the bench guy. He's an elite guy to give your regulars a day off. I don't know if you want Edmundo Sosa playing 140, 150 games a year. I think in that scenario, the flaws in his game would level out. I think the flaws in his game would catch up to him. Now, you ride the hot bat till the wheels fall off, sure. But I'm not sure I want to say Edmundo Sosa has to be an everyday player. Second, third, outfield, wherever you want to put him. Not sure about that, Booch. The bullpen is definitely concerned, not going to get info about your team in less than 10 games. No, you can't get full information in 10 games, but I think you can learn something. I do. And I've learned that some of my concerns were justified, some weren't, and that there are other issues creeping up on this team. It's still an incomplete team, and it's still 9 games. It's not even 10 games, so yeah. Nola hate makes me scratch my head. If I told you the Phillies would hold the Dodgers to 3 runs prior to the game, you would say, absolutely. Absolutely. Aaron Nola hate boggles my mind. If you look at the box score and the line for Aaron Nola and Cristopher Sanchez, and I told you Nola got booed and Sanchez got cheered, you'd call me crazy if I predicted that. It's kind of insane, the Aaron Nola hate. And we've had this before. Aaron Nola is one of those oft-criticized Phillies that's always constantly, getting no benefit of the doubt. Aaron Nola's been one of the most consistent long-term Phillies pitchers that's going to finish in the top 10 of every statistical category for a pitcher when his career's done. And he don't get the credit for it. I believe that jacket belongs. No, Mr. Gilmore won a gold jacket, so not a green jacket. The green jacket's for the Masters. Gold is for, Tour Championship. You got to get the jackets right. Sosa third and let Bohm get his head straight. I suggested trading Bohm in the offseason. I got told, no, you can't trade one of your daycare members. Even though I said the daycare needs to go, and everyone agrees, even Bryce Harper says the name daycare needs to go. Now you can't trade Alec Bohm because now he's becoming more and more worthless as a player. I mean, was it Saturday that he took 4 at-bats and had 5 pitches in 4 at-bats? Like, his approach at the plate is just it's worse than it was last year in the playoffs. He was unplayable in the playoffs. He got benched in the playoffs. And here we are, 9 games into the season, and he's got the same bad approach. And that goes to your coaches. That goes to your hitting coach. Not teaching, not training, not trying to figure out a way to adjust Alec Bohm's approach. I was listening to people going nuts with the Phillies not sweeping teams. I told them to shut up because this has been their MO for years. Well, I mean, it's hard to sweep the Dodgers. The Dodgers are supposed to be the best team in baseball. So it was never going to be easy. Never going to be easy to sweep the Dodgers. And taking 2 out of 3 was good. They did. They took care of Ohtani. Ohtani was shut down for the majority of the season. Love him getting caught stealing to end the game on Friday night. That was more of a boneheaded play by him than the Phillies winning that game. Great job by JT throwing him out. Anthony, how are you going to trade Alec Bohm? You're not going to get proper value in return. And secondly, again, go look at Sosa's splits last year, month-by-month splits. He tailed off very quickly. We had the same thought process about Edmundo Sosa early last year, that this guy was unstoppable and needs to be an everyday player. Then he got more playing time, and now I agree. You ride the hot hand of Sosa as long as you can. But he's not an everyday player, Edmundo Sosa. Mr. Stiefel, what's up, Joe? I'll meet you on the 9th green at 9. Let's go. Make sure you wear something nice, Joe, okay? Make sure you wear something nice. And make sure it is Masters Week. So tomorrow night, 6 p.m., Fairway to Heaven, talking the greatest golf tournament in the history of golf tournaments, the Masters. The Masters, absolutely. Typical Philly complaining about Nola when you have him. When it's time for him to resign or leave, everyone is happy to see him back. Yeah. The Aaron Nola hate, Big Al, it's something that's baffled me for a long time. He is not a Max Scherzer, a Steve Carlton. He's not an elite Hall of Fame pitcher, but he's a damn good pitcher. And again, for the most part, healthy throughout his entire career. He takes the mound every 5th day, no questions asked. He's a great Phillies pitcher. He'll be on the Wall of Fame someday out in center field. One of the best Phillies pitchers of all time. No, not top 5 or anything like that, but he's going to be top 5, 10 in every category when it's all said and done, which just goes to show his longevity and his ability to stay healthy. Who is my center fielder? Well, I wanted it to be Brandon Marsh. I hoped it would be Brandon Marsh. Seems like it's not Brandon Marsh. And I don't know what you do. You get Rojas some more at-bats? Maybe Crawford is ready for the call-up a little sooner this year. Now, if you're going to tell me Sosa's going to be my center fielder, I got to see him play. I have to know what caliber of center fielder Sosa needs to be or can be. He's got to cover a lot of ground out there. I don't know. So maybe in the short term, Sosa could be your center fielder. Maybe. Or at least platoon with Brandon Marsh. But again, everyone says don't judge a team in the first 8-9 games of a season. Why are we judging Brandon Marsh? 9 games into the season. I think he started 8 of them. If Nola didn't give up home runs on 0-2 pitches so often, it might not be so bad. He gave up home runs. Every pitcher gives up home runs. Cristopher Sanchez. I actually don't know if he gave up home runs. I know he gave up a lot of runs yesterday. 1. Gave up 2 home runs yesterday. Cristopher Sanchez. Gave up 4 runs in 5 2/3. Nola went 6 innings, gave up 3 runs. Why does Aaron Nola get the Flacknooms, but Cristopher Sanchez gets a standing ovation in the middle of the 6 innings when he comes off the mound? There's an unnecessary amount of hate for Aaron Nola. I cannot stand Bohm at all. I would give Sosa a shot at third, and if it doesn't work out, bring in someone at the deadline. Be happy when Bohm is gone. I like Alec Bohm. I've always had a lot of respect, Anthony, for Alec Bohm because of the way he handled at such a young age the I effing hate this place situation. Showed a lot of maturity from a young player. It does. But I don't know if you could just move on from him now at this point in the season. Now, when Aiden Miller's ready, just like Brandon Marsh, when Justin Crawford's ready, when Aiden Miller's ready, is Aiden Miller going to be your third baseman? Is he going to be your shortstop and then you move Trey Turner or Stott to third? When your infield's going to be Miller, Turner, Stott later this year or next year, who plays what position? They're all none of them are natural third basemen, from my understanding. So that'll be a big question there moving forward. I don't know if you could trade Alec Bohm, because what's Alec Bohm going to fetch you in a trade? Not much. Now, maybe another team says, well, if we bring him in here, put him at first base, DH him, maybe he'll be better at the plate without having to try to figure out third base. He's still a solid third baseman. I think he's a better defensive player than most people realize. The title for your next Fairway to Heaven better be, ain't my first time doing a Masters show, Big Al. Come on now. You want me to stoop to that kind of Mitchy Poo level right there? Not going to do it. I'm not even going to say it so you can clip it out and get me to say it, but I'll leave it up on the screen so people can think about it for a second. But the Masters, it's here. I got my betting cards set. I already know my prediction to win the Masters. I'm locked and loaded. I'm going to have all my lineups built today. Locked and loaded for the Masters. Nola is the poster boy for built for 162. He is. It's a fair comment. It's a fair statement. But again, I think the Aaron Nola hate is unjustified. I think Aaron Nola, what he does and what he's capable of doing on a every 5-day basis, deserves commendation, not booing. He deserves some kind of respect from the Phillies fan base. He's never complained. He's never done anything wrong. He's a quiet guy. He does what's necessary. He keeps you in games. Very rarely does he give up an 8 spot or a 9 spot. I mean, we're crushing Aaron Nola. Well, not we, Phillies fans. He gave up 3 runs to the scariest offense in baseball over 6 innings. I believe that is considered a quality start. Cristopher Sanchez didn't have a quality start on Sunday. It took the Phillies being able to capitalize on walks and bad pitching from the Dodgers to win that game on Sunday. If we want to be honest. When is the debut of the Phil's dinner menu if he won the Masters? That will be tomorrow. Tomorrow or Wednesday, because I got to bring that up on Fairway to Heaven at 6 p.m. as well. But we will do the dinner menu here. I will work on my Masters dinner menu. I won't forget. I'm going to write it down. Masters dinner menu. There we go. I wrote it down not to forget it. I will say this, that my appetizers, the starters, there would definitely be an oyster bar. Just so you know, Joe. Some raw oysters will be part of it. Not everybody's into raw oysters, so I'll have other appetizers as well. But raw oysters would be on the dinner menu. Just so you know. Just throwing that out there. I got a good feeling about my live guys this week. I was able to catch live Miami Friday and Sunday to do some scouting. All right. I'd like to hear that. Steven doing the work. Doing the Lord's work for Fairway to Heaven and the Masters this week. Like I've got one outright on Brooksy. That's my one Masters bet, but I got 2 or 3 guys in my player pool for sure. Good morning, Reality Check. What up? How you doing this morning? We can talk football as well. We are talking baseball. Football's on the agenda. Basketball's on the agenda. We are now day 15 of calling out Sixers owner Josh Harris until he does what's right and fires Daryl Morey. We're working on it. One step closer. It's the same with Henrik Lundqvist with Rangers fans. For all the accolades, somehow disproportionately figures out a way to be the second best at his position on that given day. I don't know enough about Henrik Lundqvist and the Rangers fans' relationship, to be honest with you. Nola will be fine. The Phillies will be fine until the bloodbath of the Phillies during Red October. Nola will be fine. I have no doubts on Aaron Nola. The problem is the fan base and the way they treat him is what is always weird to me. It is. It's just odd. Taking out the competition if they snag a bad raw oyster. Playing chestnut checkers. Yeah, there you go. I mean, it's also a little Russian roulette because I could be giving myself that raw oyster. That's bad. I would have to make sure that they source their oysters the same place at the boathouse at Disney Springs does. If you don't know what the boathouse at Disney Springs is, their oysters and tuna, the greatest thing in the world. I would eat their oysters and tuna every day for the rest of my life and be happy. But that's a side note. Why don't the New Jersey Devil fans get on Harris as much as we do as Sixers fans? I don't know. Maybe they do, and we don't know it. Do the New Jersey Devils not even care about? Like, are the Devils similar to like Flyers fans, where hockey's just, New Jersey Devils fans are also, Giants or Jets fans, which is a priority to them. Mets or Yankees fans, which is more of a priority to them. Knicks or Brooklyn Net fans, so the Devils are such a low priority. If Josh Harris owned the Flyers and was stinking up the thing, we would just move on to talking about something else. So I think it has to do with the fact that hockey just has such a smaller fan base. So maybe the diehards, like the diehard Flyers fans, criticize Danny Briere, John Tortorello, Jonesy, whoever, for this season. But it's so little criticism because it's hockey. And unfortunately, hockey's become more of a fringe sport. Like we say the big 4 in Philly. We're 4 for 4. Should be 5 for 5 with Union fans. But maybe hockey is on the verge of just being a fringe sport, kind of like soccer in this country. Yeah. Are there Devils fans? Who knows? What was the key to shutting down Ohtani? 1 hit and 1 run. They definitely had a great pitching approach. They jammed them up and in and went down and away with a lot of off-speed pitching. That's it. They said, so it was funny, mister. Let me backtrack. Before I don't know if it was Wednesday or Thursday night, the Dodgers game, before they came to Philadelphia, the last Dodgers game. But Ohtani, it was either Wednesday or Thursday night last week, hit a walk-off home run in the bottom of the ninth inning with the bases empty. It was 5-5, 6-6, something like that. And he hit a walk-off home run, Ohtani. And I tweeted out, why on earth, why in blue hell would you pitch to Ohtani in the ninth inning? I even said that if the bases were loaded and you had a 2-run lead, I would walk in one of those runs by intentionally walking Ohtani. You cannot let Ohtani beat you. I know they got a great lineup. Freeman missed this week, but Mookie Betts is there. You got a great lineup with the Dodgers there. I would rather face any other player on the Dodgers than Ohtani. He's that special of a hitter. So you can't let him beat you. You got to throw outside the strike zone, and that's it. Jam him up and in, low and away. That's it. And if somebody else beats you, someone else beats you. That's what it is. And that's how they beat him. That's how they shut him down. Then he got on base and he got too aggressive and got thrown out. You never make the last out of a baseball game stealing a base by trying to steal a base. It's a big, big no-no in baseball. The poll doesn't have no chance. Well, you know what? You know what has no chance? The Memphis Showboats. Because let me tell you something. The other night, flipping through the channels, like, oh, UFL's on. I think it was Saturday night. And it was the Memphis Showboats. Like, all right, let's put this football game on. All right, first play of the UFL that I watched this season. The quarterback, for whatever team it was, threw up a bomb deep down the field. And it was such a bad throw that the wide receiver had to stop, run back 7 yards to catch the ball. In between 3 defenders who just watched him catch the ball, he was able to turn around and run back for 10 more yards before anyone got close to him. Terrible throw, terrible defense. As soon I watched one play, and I turned it right back off. Because the UFL sucks. Probably because you're not on Trending with the Devil podcast. Yeah, exactly. This is not Trending with the Devil. Not at all. I think the Flyers are felt to be fringe because of the years now of failure. I agree. Flyers hockey is amazing. But see, the thing is, it's still fringe to an extent. Okay? Hockey at this point in America is not good. It's not. In the realm of importance, in the realm of relevancy, hockey isn't relevant in America, not just Philly. And yes, if the Flyers made a Stanley Cup run, the Wells Fargo Center would be jumping again. But still, the amount of people that would be paying attention would be a very small percentage. I have no idea who I was watching. I thought it was actually Memphis on Saturday night. I really do. So I saw a weird kickoff with the UFL. The UFL experiments. Duck, I'll give them that. The problem is the talent level of the players, it just doesn't come close to the NFL. Like, literally, I watched one play of the UFL this weekend, and it was just awful. It was just straight awful. Is that a green blazer? It is. It's Masters Week, Memphis. I know you hate Fairway to Heaven, but this is the Super Bowl of golf this week. All right? This is WrestleMania of us golf fans. And you only get one of these green jackets if you win the Masters. Order it off Temu. This one does not fit me. Look at how short the sleeves are on this thing. Or if you steal it, you have to guess which one I did. All right, we gained one more subscriber. Hey, what's up, Mitchie Poo? How you doing? You missed some dirty jokes earlier in the show that was meant towards you. But let's subscribe, let's share. Can we get to 500 this week? Come on now. Hey, Phil, out of all sports we have, which sport do you feel truly has the best interest of the players and has a good handle of how the money should be distributed between the players? That is a very interesting question because we spent a lot of time last week with the push talk and talking about, how they claim to have player safety in mind, but really they don't. Which sport has the player's interest at heart the most? That is a very interesting. Now, the money side, I don't know. The owners make a majority of the money in all sports. We know that. But I'm going to turn this over to the people. I think in basketball, players run the sport. not the league. Hockey, who knows? It's a tough question. It's a really tough question. I don't think any of them have the players, best interest in mind. Because I think the players they're just employees. And the owners just want to make their billions of dollars. But I can't say that it's football. So it's got to be baseball or basketball, I guess. Saturday, yeah, Memphis. Yeah, it was on ABC, and I switched over. I actually watched a lot of the Final Four game of Duke versus that Houston. I watched a lot of that instead of Memphis. I gave Memphis Showboats one chance. One chance. But it was so bad, I watched my first college basketball game of the entire season. I wanted to see future Sixer Cooper Flagg. Let me tell you something. He's pretty good. Flyers could be on the fringe of falling into Wings territory if this stuff continues. Maybe not Wings level, but definitely Union level. That Green Blazer is best trip I've seen anywhere in a while. Dude, let me tell you something. I am very uncomfortable in this jacket right now. This jacket is very small. It is not meant for a fat man. It's a fat man, little coat kind of situation. So the New Jersey Devils play for the entire state or just Hoboken, New Jersey? Who knows? Who knows? It's just like the Giants and Jets are really Jersey teams, but they play for the city. They don't just play for Hoboken. They play for Jersey, and they play for New York, probably. I know, but Harris has ignored his pro teams. I would think we would hear something being one. Yeah, I agree. NASCAR? I mean, maybe NASCAR. I'm not really a NASCAR guy, so I don't know enough about it. Bill promised at 500 he'd throw in a huge kegger at O'Malley's. Did I? We're going to have a party on the 9th green at 9 p.m. Memphis when we get to 500. Make sure you wear something nice. Golf has the best payment for players based on results. I agree, Big Al. And they've changed it over the years to make it even better. Okay? Players get paid off of success, but they also, some things that golf has done over the years, most importantly recently, okay? The training that they have available at all these golf tournaments, the facilities they make sure that golf courses have to host a tournament. What do I talk about all the time? Having mental help available for athletes on a regular basis. The PGA makes sure there's psychiatrists that travel on tour from place to place if these players need to talk to somebody. They literally take the best care. They give everybody their own private car and driver if they want it. They help them find housing. Even the lowest level golfers make good money and are taken care of well. So I like that. I think golf does take great care. So there you go. NFL reality check. The PGA Tour. Maybe. Don't cry for players, Argentina. They make tens of millions of dollars. I see what you did there. Don't cry for me, Argentina. Do fat guy in little coat. I don't want to rip this coat. I need to get another week out of this coat. And NASCAR takes care of drivers because in reality, it literally life or death. Yeah. I don't know the structure of NASCAR, Duck, because obviously each car is owned by a team, and each team has 2 or 3 cars and multiple drivers on it. And then the league, I don't know the league structure of NASCAR, how it works. NFL treats its players like a piece of steak. Honestly, it's true because they preach player safety all the time, Nooms, but yet they change the rules to not help player safety. They create rules, drop tackle for one, to protect players, then proceed not to enforce it one bit. Good morning, Eric. Gatekeepers here. We're talking Phillies. We're talking Sixers, Eagles. We're talking player safety. We're talking Masters golf. You know why golfers get taken care of players' mental health? Yeah, exactly. A movie actually made that happen. Yeah, exactly. I don't know, maybe. You only get a green jacket one of 3 ways. You win the Masters, you steal it from the Masters, or you get it from Temu. Which one was it for me? Viewership is to payment ratio. I think bowling is pretty solid. Viewership to payment ratio for what? Are you talking about with NASCAR too there? I'm just happy to see most of you are throwing NASCAR in as a sport. When I was a kid, you were laughed at for calling it a sport. I give NASCAR drivers, hell, Indy drivers, any of them, Formula One drivers, even the little sprints. I forget what they call when you got the hot rod sprint thingies, the straightaways. Dude, it takes, the amount of equipment you wear, being in one of those cars for 2 hours. They're hot as hell in those cars. The mental, sports is all mental just as much as physical. I would think NASCAR has to be mentally in check more than any other sport out there. I don't watch NASCAR. I'm not into NASCAR. But I respect the living hell out of NASCAR. Getting behind of a wheel of a vehicle going 200 plus miles an hour with 30 other cars and the slightest millimeter. Is there any sport where a millimeter of distance could be the life or death distance? Like, if you just slightly tap the car on the wrong thing, that other car's getting airborne. The room for error in NASCAR is insane. It really is. Drag racing, duh. I don't know why I couldn't think of it. I don't know why I didn't remember the word NASCAR there for a second. But yes, I mean, or drag racing, all of it. The mental skills it takes. Talladega Nights is greater than NASCAR. Talladega Nights is great, Mitchie Poo. I am not a Will Ferrell fan. I think he's a little overrated. But I think Talladega Nights might be one of his top 3 movies ever done. I will say that. Shirley Cha-Cha Mulder. I don't. Is poker a sport? Poker, I used to play semi-professionally poker. I once had a dream of going full-time professional as a poker player. The gruelingness of poker. And nowadays, with the poker tour grind, a lot of these poker players talk about their physical fitness and how they work out to stay fit, to sit at a table for 12, 14 hours straight. Because you got to keep your mental in shape, okay? You do need to be, you can't be a fat bum and stay awake for 14 straight hours at a poker table. You can't. And keep mental focus for that, can't do it. There's a reason why in poker, Phil Hellmuth came out. And we're about 2 months away from the World Series of Poker starting. The main event about 3 months away. And that Phil Hellmuth said that he's not going to play in the main event. Now, I don't believe him anymore. Because it's like a 14-day marathon. If you make it to the final table, it's 10, 12 straight days of 12, 14 hours just grinding and grinding. It's exhausting. The mental side of poker. It's tough. It really is. My dad used to own a part of an. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's good. Dude, that blazer now. You need to do a show and call it Two Ferns and Phil. No, this is my Masters jacket. It only comes out one time a year. Masters Week. Masters Week, and it's Masters Week. Poker's a marathon nowadays. It really is. My biggest problem with playing poker was the mental side of things in the. I'll tell a slight. So I was in a tournament. It was a circuit main event at Harris. This is a long, long time ago. And I was in a position to win the event. Okay. And it was the final table was going to be televised. I was in a position to win this. And I missed. I ended up getting knocked out just on the bubble. Okay. But the reason why that tournament sticks out is because I want to win everything. I don't want second, third, fourth. To be a pro, you got to make the money and then try to win. I made a decision to win the event, not to make the money. Even though the statistics said I was ahead, should have folded, blah, 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 whatever. The marathon of it. Put in 2 straight days of nonstop to come 2 spots short of making the money. It was a grind. That was my last major event I ever played in. It's like 2003, 2004. Poker is a test of how well you can bullshit. I disagree. There's a lot of math in poker. And I played based off of poker, just so you know. But I played poker because by math. Does anyone else find the Christmas color scheme distracting? It is very Christmas. It is. Here, you want the Christmas colors gone? Here we go. We'll go blue. We'll make it blue. We'll throw another color in there to really throw you off. Will Ferrell, Aaron Rodgers. Will Ferrell, 100%. I would think there would be a huge coke problem in poker. Nah, maybe nowadays, Noobs. I don't know. Back when I was grinding locally, there wasn't a lot of weed. That's for sure. After a long grinding session, you gotta take a puff or two, but that's about it. Poker is a grind. It's such a grind, Brian. It is. And trying to grind at it took the fun out of it. I don't even play fun casual games. I know, man, Jake at Talking 215 always invites me to his poker games. I can't even find joy in it anymore. Most annoying, yeah. Aaron Rodgers is the worst, plain and simple. I don't know if I could sit long enough. It's tough. You play a 12-hour day, and then if you get the cash games and you grind. There was a stretch way back in the day where I would go 20 hours straight at a cash table. Keep my focus the whole entire time. I went to Vegas for spring break my final year of grad school, and I went to a tournament at the Luxor. I still have my bracelet I got. That's pretty awesome. The Luxor Poker Room. The last time I was in Vegas sucked ass. Wait, first or last. That Talladega Nights quote right there, Mitchie Poo, is why I struggled with the poker idea, with the poker game. It is. Do poker players get up to take a win? Yeah, I mean, yeah. You risk you risk losing money, missing out on money. In cash games, you just get up and walk away. In tournaments, your chips are still taken from. Just so you know. Now I feel like I am colorblind with blue and red. I'm just trying to mess with you now, you know? Poker is a deadly game. Obviously, you haven't watched Casino Royale. Yeah, it's true. Casino Royale, the greatest bod movie ever made. Wait, I thought you won. I did win the Clayton Invitational. Yes, that's right. That is right. I think me and Brian, we need to make a reunion over at Clayton Park one of these days. Wonder what that course looks like these days. No, this is my Masters jacket. I won this at the Masters in 2008, okay? Why did they change that from Baccarat to Texas Hold'em? They did that to modernize James Bond a little bit because poker, when Casino Royale came out, was still in its big boom. I kind of feel like poker's kind of come back down to earth a little bit. A lot of people still playing it. The game's changed a lot since I was there playing regularly, but it was the modern thing to do with Bond. Nobody plays Baccarat anymore. Sitting that long can cause blood clots, dude. It can, for sure. I mean, when I would do 20-hour sessions, I'd go down to AC. This is before poker rooms were legal up here. And there was an illegal poker room in Delaware I used to play at regularly, not too far. You want to get real games, you go down to AC. I would go down there. If I had 2 days off from work in a row, I would go down after my shift. I would take like little 2-3 hour cat naps in my car, and I would play the entire time. They make a lot of money. Make a lot of money. They did it. They did the poker change from Baccarat and Bond to modernize the game. All right, Duck, what color do you want? We can go green. We can go red. That's too bright for today. We can go there. We could go, we don't like that one. We could go old school. We can go with the old trend in the AM overlay. If that lightens the colors on your eyes a little bit, we'll stick to blue. We'll stick to blue. Guys, you're watching Trending the AM right here. Make sure you've hit that like button if you haven't already. There should be at least 15 or 20 likes on this video already. So please like the video if you haven't. Please click that share button if you haven't already done that. And hit subscribe if you haven't done that already. We're talking Phillies baseball. What kind of feelings you've got after the first big series of the season, taking 2 out of 3 of the Dodgers? We should all be excited. There is some concerns. Why is Aaron Nola criticized when Cristopher Sanchez is cheered? And what do you do with the bullpen? Are you ready to bring in Robertson, who is still a free agent, who every time he comes to Philly is hurt, but is still a really damn good pitcher when he's not in Philly? Throwing that out there. Sixers, day 15 are calling out Daryl Morey. Or calling out Josh Harris till he fires Daryl Morey. Will Daryl Morey get fired? And B, part 2 on that. Calling out the nitwits. There's 2 or 3 of them. Jerry, you're one of them. That seem to find every one of my Daryl Morey, Josh Harris videos and call me an idiot. And call me bad words in every one of them. I want to know who Jerry is. Really? You're going to trash talk me in shorts? Because I'm doing a little string of videos? You got something better to do with your time? The idiot that says today's day 15 news. Today is day 15. The one idiot that has gone on every video and responded with, he's not going to see this. No shit, Josh Harris ain't watching STT Sports Network shorts. No way. Really shocking news there. So we're talking that. And then Eagles. We're getting closer. We're now 3 weeks away from the draft. I've been thinking about the draft a little bit this weekend and what the Eagles should do with 32. Trade back, stay put, trade up. And I was evaluating the trade that the Eagles made with the Ravens in 2018, the last time they were the 32nd pick. That was the year we got Dallas Goedert, who was a hot topic. And whether you want to trade back, trade up, or stay put. So I don't think the trade back that they got for with the Ravens, if you present me with something similar, it is. You obviously are amongst the poor. The rich still play baccarat. Well, I am poor. You go to the casino and the mahjong and baccarat rooms are still there for the whales. That's true. That's true. But you're trying to make a movie more appealing. Like, yeah, the whales still play baccarat and mahjong, but the younger audience for the movies doesn't even know what baccarat is. All right, I barely know how to play it. I would never try to play it in casino. But you're trying to modernize it, capitalize on the poker boom. And let me tell you something. That poker tournament there, well, actually the one at the resort in the Bahamas was awesome when he takes the dude's car from him. That was an awesome scene. I've been to that resort before. Pretty awesome place. There was I don't know, they were definitely on YouTube. So I was getting hit up with replies. One guy, Jerry, responded like 5 times yesterday on one of the threads. But these people are picking ones like, I got one this morning, Nooms. I think it was from like day 3 or day 4. Someone commented something negative on it. Like, seriously? What? I don't care. Not telling you to go call them out. I'm just telling you. It is what it is. Well, Duck, it's America. Got to Americanize everything. I guess we just thought Texas Hold'em sounded better. No, it has to look, poker's booming. You're going to have, James Bond, a more rough, tough kind of James Bond than Daniel Craig. Not the je ne sais quoi, the smooth guy. It's not modernizing it. It's making it more modern for the modern audience. Okay? I think the reason for it was well done. And I think those 2 poker scenes in Casino Royale would have been very different if they were baccarat. Craps for me. Don't make me count cards or there's nothing more fun than a craps table full of friends. When I got married, my brother's like, all right, we're going to do a bachelor party. I'm like, all right, cool. He's like, what do you want to do? And I told my brother, all I want to do, a couple friends, I want you to get me a craps table, just all of us to play craps somewhere in AC for the night. And you got a table, cheap minimum table for all of us. We played craps for like 2 hours. I just kept shouting, yo, 11, loud as I could. That's what, to me, a bunch of guys drinking beers around a craps table, having fun. Let me tell you something. It's a good time. Someone called you stupid. Yeah. Dude, people think that, keyboard warriors, as I call them, Mitchy Poo. I don't really care if you call me stupid. I'd rather you, if you disagree with my opinion, create a discussion on why you disagree. But instead, some people just say, instead of discussing it, we'll just call you stupid. KG and Paul Pierce did an excellent breakdown of Daryl Morey's malpractice as a GM. The funniest part was an interviewer mentioned Daryl Morey uses AI to construct his roster, and KG replied, it looks that way. Well, now you're up to like 4 basketball players that have said that they don't trust Daryl Morey anymore. How can you bring a guy back that's got his reputation at this point? Or you can't. But I don't think Josh Harris even knows what's going on with the Sixers right now. The Sixers are in the pretty locked solid in this number 5 seed right now, 5th best chance of winning the lottery. They are only a game and a half behind the Pelicans for the 4th worst record in the NBA. If the Sixers get the 4th or 5th pick in the draft, I know Daryl Morey drafted Tyrese Maxey. I know Daryl Morey drafted Jarrett McCain. I don't care. I do not trust Daryl Morey with the 4th or 5th pick in the draft. I do not trust Daryl Morey to fix his mistake. Everyone's like, look how great of a deal he made to get rid of James Harden. But he's the one that brought us the James Harden problem. So we do not give him credit for fixing his own mistake. That should have never happened in the first place. Daryl Morey needs to go. Plain and simple. Daryl Morey should be out of the NBA. Plain and simple right now. Potato. I get you. I get your reality check. And look, and I'm a traditionalist with Bond too. And I missed that Baccarat part. I did. I've been to the Grand Casino in Montenegro. I've been to, that resort in the Bahamas. I love James Bond. The greatest movie universe of all time. I am scared about what Amazon is going to do to James Bond. Did you give the guy on Facebook 69 reasons on why that isn't true? That's what I know. Mitchie Poo didn't stand up for me because, Mitchie Poo likes to kick me while I'm down instead. But calling people stupid is easier than Exactly. See, the thing is, casuals don't know that I crave and want the conversation. I want you to tell me I'm wrong and tell me why I'm wrong. Don't tell me, well, this is stupid because he's never going to see your video. Yeah, you must be real fun at parties, okay? Real fun at parties to make those kind of comments. But whatever, I don't care. Is the camera zoomed in or is it just me? No, I mean, the camera's normal, I think. I'm looking at myself on the side screen. Seems to be the normal camera to me. I'm double checking everything, but yeah. Looks like it's all the same as it always is. Not sure what that comment's for. But anyway, where are we with this Phillies team? Now we got the Braves coming to town. Yeah, Zach. Zach's first comment of the show is calling out Mitchie Poo for his, it must be him. Exactly. What's up, Zach? Hope you were well this morning. Hope you're doing good. Listen, do I got to put Mitch in a corner and give me a... Exactly. Mitchie Poo not standing up for me. I didn't even realize that Mitchie Poo's not standing up for me. Thanks for calling out Mitchie Poo for me. We got the Braves coming to town starting tomorrow. We learned a little bit about this Phillies team, the good and the bad, against the Dodgers. And I know the Braves are 1-7, 1-8, something, 1-8. It's still a huge series against the Braves. We do not want to be the team that gets the Braves out of their funk. That would be bad. Anyway, back to the Eagles, too. Trading up, trading back, staying put. 3 weeks from the draft. In 2018 draft, after the 2017 Super Bowl victory, we had the number 32 pick. We traded to the Ravens for 52 and 125. And a second rounder in 2019, which turned out to be pick 53. So it was actually, we gave up 132 there too. So we gave up 32 and 132 for 52, a future 53, and 125. That draft netted us Dallas Goedert, Avonte Maddox, and then the future pick, Miles Sanders, for Lamar Jackson, basically. Now, we didn't need Lamar Jackson, obviously, at the time. Carson Wentz was coming off a Super Bowl run, Nick Foles, et cetera, et cetera. We know where we were at in 2018 with the quarterback situation. But the player you get at 32 versus 52, well, I think it was 49, because then we traded up to 49. Getting that fifth year control, whatnot. I don't know if Avonte Maddox and Dallas Goedert level players are worth moving back from 32 for. It depends on how the board falls. It does depend on who's available. But see, the thing is, I'm asking this question for a different reason, Doc. And the reason why I'm asking, do you trade back or stay put, is because I think there's option 3. And option 3 is trading up. And I think there's more of a value in trading up 20, 22, moving up 8, 10, 12 spots. We've got 10, 11 draft picks next year. Got lots of options, opportunities to move up. Is trading up to make sure you get absolutely the best player to help this team win another Super Bowl this year, is that the right idea. Finally, something. Well, I'm still really unsure. Not about, we have no idea what they will do, but we could formulate what they should do. We can formulate ideas on what the Eagles should do. And I sit here and I look at this team. I look at the Eagles and what they have in their needs. And I think if a great edge, a great D tackle, a great safety falls to 20. Starks. Everybody loves Starks. Just use Starks' name at safety. If Starks is sitting there at 20, is it smarter to move up to 20, give up some of those future assets, get somebody to put next to Reed Blankenship right away? No offense, Sidney Brown. And go from there. Is a developmental tight end. Would it be better to have a rookie Dallas Goedert or a rookie Brian Branch? Let's look at it that way. I think they could trade up, but about 7 spots max. By the way, I forgot to get a screenshot of it. I did a mock draft yesterday. I traded the entire draft this year and the entire draft next year, moved up to number 4, and got a dual Carter. Because I only have PFN. I can't trade players or future picks, just next year's picks. Or I would have made other moves. I just tried it out, and it worked. We can't trade up to mid-round pick. There's way too much draft capital. I'm saying 20. So to move up to 20 from 32, what's it going to cost you? It's going to cost you 2 seconds? I don't know, just 32, 60 whatever, and one of next year's seconds get you from 32 to 20? 2 seconds and a first? I don't know. Maybe it does. Always amazing to me how much we couldn't make Ertz and Goddard work as well as it could have. Yeah, I mean, Dallas Goedert in his early days when Zach Ertz was still here had his flaws. He wasn't very good at blocking. He had to learn to be a good blocker. Yeah. I'm sure they have 5 players targeted and have already valued it, including what they are willing to give up and more. But how much are you willing to give up for the quality of player? Like, everyone talks about Starks, and I'm using him as an example right now. Is he really worth moving the assets to move up 12 spots to get him? I don't know if he is. My AI app says the Sixers roster next season should be Maxey, Oubre, Paul George, Yabusele, Embiid with a bench of Grimes, McCain, and a rookie in the draft. Well, you need to delete that AI app immediately. I fully expect, mister, this is actually what's going to happen. And they're going to sell us that this will be a roster that can make a run to the playoffs or into the playoffs. And this is why I'm calling out Josh Harris. This is not what the Sixers fans want. The Sixers fans can see through this, okay? We can see through this. I'd be shocked if Joel Embiid doesn't ask for a trade as soon as the season ends. When's the last game? The 13th, the 14th, something like that? It's coming up in the next week or so. The day after the season ends, Daryl Morey and Nick Nurse need to be fired. The day after the season ends, if they're not fired, Joel Embiid will ask for a trade out of the city. How you trade him, I don't know, but that's another whole subject. I agree that is the outside limits. Yeah. The problem is tight end is one of those positions that you really, really need in-game touches to get good. Yeah, but back then we didn't have the wide receivers we have now. I don't know. It's weird. Never really thought about why they didn't work as a pair as well. And I'm using Starks and I'm using the Goddard trade as examples here. But I really think that trading up a certain amount. I got the draft board here. I'm just looking at some of these guys here that could theoretically slip. Starks is ranked on PFN as the 15th player. Mikael Williams, 16th out of Georgia. Get another Georgia Bulldog guy. Colston Loveland, the tight end from Michigan. We're not going to trade up 8 to 10 spots for a tight end. Dirk Harmon's available. Do you want him? Tyler Booker. Now, there's a guy. Maybe they trade up for a starting guard. Seen some talk about some cornerbacks for the Eagles that could fall. Just looking at these names, and I don't really think there's a player that'll drop that's worth trading up for. But again, do you want depth pieces in the second round, or do you want a guy for 5 years that could start? Phil, as the roster sits right now, I feel we can make a deep run, but you feel we can repeat as we sit right now? Absolutely. I think as they sit before the draft has even happened, reality check, the Eagles are my favorite to win the Super Bowl. Not as a homer. This is just as an analyst, as a guy with an opinion and a platform. The Philadelphia Eagles are the best team in football right now. Because despite the losses, 17 of the 22 starters are returning. Maybe 18. I forget now. Technically 19 because Dallas Goedert's still here. We lost Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. We lost Milton Williams and Josh Sweat. And we lost Mekhi Becton. That's it. Maybe we lose Dallas Goedert. This team has the best offense in football as we stand. This team still has a really good defense that's young, that's talented, and we're going into year 2 of the Vic Fangio system. So they're going to be even better, potentially. So as we stand now, we are our Super Bowl favorite, in my opinion. We're going to win the division. Go Michigan or Michigan State, either or. Even though the last 2 Eagles seasons, how much better is Calcaterra getting receiving? Yeah, look, Grant Calcaterra to me is a guy that, we talk about trading Dallas Goedert, that you should be exploring options to trade Grant Calcaterra as well, honestly, Doc. You bring in Bryant and Granson. If they draft a tight end in the first 2 or 3 rounds, not only do you move on from Dallas Goedert, you got to consider moving on from Calcaterra. You do. Because Greg Calcaterra, all the physical tools are there. He has not been able to put them all together. And he's had, with the amount of games that Dallas Goedert misses, Greg Calcaterra should have been able to grasp those opportunities better. Sixers need to get the big from Auburn to replace Embiid if we can't get Flagg. Look, I watched a little bit of that Auburn game. I watched Duke Houston game on Saturday. It was the first time I've watched Cooper Flagg not in highlight clips on Twitter all season long. The dude's smooth. Cooper Flagg did choke in that Final Four game, though. So maybe he drops the Sixers at 5. I'm trying to put that into existence. Nobody should want Cooper Flagg. He's a terrible. He came up small in that Final Four game. So you guys in the 1, 2, 3 picks, let him fall to 5. I want Cooper Flagg on the Sixers. I'm gonna try to say that we should trade 5 and Embiid and move up to 1 to get Cooper Flagg. Let's convince some GM, whoever's going to get the number 1 pick, that that's a good move for them. This draft seems like there is a skills drop-off and plateau of everyone outside the top 2 or 3 at their position. Maybe. Eagles are 100th the best team. Teams aren't even make moves to improve. Yeah, absolutely. I do not think there's any doubt that the Eagles are the best team in football. I think the Eagles are over Grant. I know I'm over Grant Calcaterra. Okay? I tried to give him a little bit of a benefit of the doubt going into this year. But at this point, done. Done with it. Phil wants to play capture the flag. I absolutely do. Absolutely do. And if you didn't enjoy playing capture the flag at recess or in gym class, then you weren't cool. Okay? The only reason I ask because the answer says all you need to know if that is truly the way we feel as fans, then Howie definitely feels that way, and I expect him to move up. And that's why we've got a Super Bowl window for the next 5 years, right? We should get to 2 more Super Bowls in the next 5 years, at least win 1 more, right? But why not just go all in and win back-to-back Super Bowls? Whatever it takes. Go all in and win another Super Bowl. Figure out the rest later. You've acquired all these draft picks for next year. I get it. I know there's a lot of money to be spent next offseason on Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith. This season with Cam Jurgens and Nakobe Dean and Reed Blankenship all need extensions. I know there's money to be spent. Go all in. If there's a player you truly think that can make the Eagles a lock to get back to the Super Bowl, you go get them no matter the cost. That's just kind of my thought process there. My AI app predicts the Eagles will draft one of these players. Walter Nolan, yes. Mason Taylor, Mikael Williams, I'd be okay with that. And Gray Zabel in the first round. I wouldn't be shocked if they went with a tackle or a guard in the first round. Would not be shocked. Would you take Flagg if it means keeping Morey? Is it Morey or Morley? Is this Val Venus? Are we talking about Val Venus's alter ego Morley? Or are we talking Daryl Morey? No, I would rather not get Cooper Flagg, but get rid of Daryl Morey. I want Daryl Morey gone so bad. The day he signed in Philadelphia, I've never been as right as I've been on Daryl Morey, Big Al. I've been right before. I've been wrong a lot, but I've been right a few times. My biggest right has always been that Daryl Morey will be a disaster in Philadelphia. Plain and simple. Your AI is greatly flawed. Yeah. I like Capture the Flag, but I think Hardpoint is way better. If I got the first overall pick, I would trade it with Paul George is meant moving back down to 5. So I joked, trade 5 and Embiid to move up to 1. If you got 1, would you trade 1 and Embiid or Paul George to go back to 5? Tough call. It's a tough call right there. Howie and Laurie are all maintaining greatness and opportunity to be continued success. I agree. But you got a chance to win another Super Bowl right now. You go all in. You go all in. I pay good money for my app. It had better be right. I've never used an AI app before. I've used Grok a few times just as a joke. But I've never used an AI, mister. Never done it. I pay my taxes. I haven't good service from them ever. And I'm sorry y'all can hate me. I love J.D. Hell. I was one bang on the table for being this, but not resign him. Will not pay top 12 pick money for someone who isn't top 12 pick. Jordan Davis. We've talked about Jordan Davis a lot on here. It's one of the toughest decisions how he's going to have to make. And May 2nd is, we're less than a month away from that. And I think the reason why we don't have an answer on what they're going to do with Jordan Davis, reality check, is because they are going to try to trade Jordan Davis. He is going to be on the table on draft night in a trade. And if they can't trade him on draft night, they will decline his fifth year option, and he'll just go into the season on his final year of his contract. I really, truly think everyone's assuming Dallas Goedert gets traded, and he probably will get traded. But I think Jordan Davis trade is on the table as well. Too many other good young talents to worry about. Jordan Davis is. I hate saying it. I hate saying it because I agree with you, but I also love, in theory, what Jordan Davis is and could be. Why do I pay taxes? Let's not get political on this show. I mean, I ain't gonna get any money anyway since everything's tanking out the window right now. I'm gonna be broke by the end of this week. Current state of finances in this country. I don't want to make this a political show. We're coming up at 1:10, hour and 10 minutes on the show, guys. Please hit that like button. Please hit that share button. Please hit that subscribe button. It's free to click those buttons. All the people watching on Twitter, head over on the STT Sports Network YouTube page. Subscribe over there. Link in my bio if you want to. Please, I greatly appreciate it, guys. Trying to get to that 500 mark this week. Delusional, righteous Eagles fans call Jordan Davis a bust. Jordan Davis is not a bust. But the question, and I love how you phrase that, righteous, delusional Eagles. There's only a few of us understand that one, Mitchie Poo. But Jordan Davis, he's not a bust, but he is a bust. He's both not and is a bust. Maybe we expect too much from him. Problem is, you can't pay him $13 million next season. You can't give him a big extension like some team like the Patriots would overpay him to do. He's not going to take a pay cut to extend him longer a year. It's crazy. It really is. I don't know what to do with him because the U.S. makes the masses. We're not talking about the U.S. We're not talking about tariffs. We're not going to talk any of that stuff today. Excuse me, Mitch. Who said bust? It's an inside joke. Reality check. He's not a bust. He's also not a first-round talent. He's doing what he does, and what he does. The problem is when you're top 15 pick, you're expected to play a little bit more than Jordan Davis. Now, when he is on the field, he is massively effective. The problem is, what can you do to get him on the field more? And it's not his first year. It's not his second year. It's his third year now. He's entering his fourth year. At this point, he is what he is. He's not going to be able to get into the shape that we expect him to get into to play more snaps. Have you thought about going live on TikTok as you're on YouTube? Don't you have to have a certain amount of followers? I cannot go live on TikTok. I don't have enough followers on TikTok. But I would. You can't do it through StreamYard, but I could do it on my phone as well. Once I'm allowed to go live on TikTok, I absolutely will go live on TikTok. For sure. No doubt about it. Instead of having this screen up here, I'll have this screen set up for TikTok. No doubt about it. Oh, they got rid of that? Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you had to have like 500 or 1,000 followers to go live. I'll go live on TikTok. Maybe I'll be live tomorrow. I'll have to figure that out. Davis is a Super Bowl champion. He is. Jordan Davis is a Super Bowl champion. That is a fair statement. Look, let's not argue about tariffs and taxes, my S&P 500 tanking, my retirement tanking. Let's not talk any of that. I will not comment on any of that. I will not post any more tariff or taxes or political comments. Damn straight 52 other players are. Because we are the reigning defending Super Bowl champion. Undisputed Super Bowl. Well, it's disputed that it was a weak Super Bowl, or we got lucky or whatever because of some rugby play. Anyway, we're coming up to the final 15. We swung more into an Eagles conversation off the Phillies for one final Eagles-Phillies conversation. I mean, as we get set for the Brave series tomorrow. How important is this Brave series? I know they're 1-8, but we still want to take 2 out of 3 in as many series as we can early. We saw starting hot last year and then tailing off the second half of the year, how important that hot start was to maintain our position in the league, in the playoffs. Still throwing the conversation. Aaron Nola gets booed for 6 innings, 3 runs. Cristopher Sanchez gets a standing O for 4 runs in 5 2/3 innings. Why? Throwing them out there. Not putting any of these comments up on the screen because we're not talking politics. We're not talking about any of that. I refuse to put any of those comments up there. We're done with that. I'm starring them, so I know I've seen them, and I'm reading them, but I will not put political comments because political comments turn ugly way too fast. And I can't trust anybody, even the core 12, to talk politics. Will not do it. Won't do it. Never will do it. We can talk Eagles. We can talk Sixers. We can talk Phillies. We can talk Flyers. We can talk the Masters. Okay? Talk all that. But no politics. My political statement is there's no political statements allowed on this show, Mitchie Poo. The most political thing I will talk about. When the pairings for the first round of the Masters comes out, they might have already come out. If Angel Cabrera is not paired with Scotty Scheffler in the first round of the Masters, they are making a huge mistake. And only some people understand why that's so funny and why that would be a big miss if it didn't happen. If Scotty Scheffler and Cabrera are not out, and Angel Cabrera goes out there and wins last week on the senior tour, right before he's making his first Masters appearance in how many years? I will put this one up because that's kind of funny. I have not gone politics. No. No. Phil, I need grades from the Dodgers series. Hitting, starting pitching, relief pitching because Romano was damn near close to an F. I would say grades. Okay. Starting pitching. I am giving the starting pitching an A because I think Aaron Nola going 6 innings and giving up 3 runs was an A performance. You're going up against the Dodgers, the most scary offense in baseball, minus, yes, their best, one of their better hitters in Freddie Freeman, but still got Shohei Ohtani they shut Shohei Ohtani down. He had 1 hit all series. That's an A. Starting pitching. Relief pitching, B-. Romano stinks. Alvarado scares me still, but that series he was good. Hitting, I'll give the hitting a B. They walked a lot. They didn't strike out a lot. Made some clutch hits. Alec Boehm's not doing good at all, obviously. I will give the coaching, I'm going to add another one in there, coaching, a B. Because they went back to Romano when he knew he shouldn't have. He took Sosa out of the lineup when he shouldn't have. I'm going to say the overall series was a B+, A- series, though. Because we took care of it. The whole point is always take care of business. We talked about winning, 5 of the first 6 games against bad teams. You got to beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. Well, taking 2 out of 3 against the favorite to win the World Series, doesn't matter how it looks. Doesn't matter that we missed Snell and they were missing Freeman and 2 other relievers. You still beat the best team in baseball 2 out of 3 times. So I'll say an A- for the series as a whole. What do you think about defensive tackle Desmond Watson from the Florida Gators? 6'6", 475 with a 25-inch vertical. I don't know who this guy is, honestly. I'm going to look him up right now here. Defensive tackle. Where's the search bar here? He does not even pop up on the draft board. Is he not even in the draft this year? He is not on the PFN draft board. So I don't know who he is. We always seem to catch the Dodgers with their top bullpen's arms out. It's really amazing to me. But they took care of business. Isn't that what you want to do? Take care of business when you can. They took care of business. You can't fault them for it. If the Phillies would have gone out and lost 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers, we'd be criticizing them. We'd be complaining about them. Yes, I want to complain about Boehm's approach, about, Topper continuing to use Romano, et cetera, et cetera. But they took care of business. Nick even Anthony, who hates Nick Castellanos, has to give Nick Castellanos a round of applause. How many times we come up with the bases loaded this year already and strike out multiple times with the bases loaded? Nick Castellanos, well, big boy grand slam yesterday. So you know what? You got to give him the credit where credit's due. And I'm Mr. quote-unquote Negadelphi when it comes to the Phillies. So outside of Romano, outside of Boehm, kind of Marsh, kind of Topper, I will be giving the Phillies their just due as well. Don't look at Desmond with his top off, but okay. Castellanos has been playing well since July. Yeah, Castellanos is a streaky player. He's in one of his hot streaks right now. Castellanos is a player that 4 or 5 years ago was an MVP conversation. Was it when he was with the Reds or with or was it with the Tigers? I forget. I think it was his last year with the Reds when he was in the MVP conversation. He wasn't going to win it, but he was top 5 or 10 in that. Nick Castellanos playing well. 36 reps on the bench press and ran a 5.6 40-yard dash. Look, he's not on the PFN draft board at all. So, can't really tell you much about him. And 5.6 40-yard dash for a guy pushing 500 pounds, that's pretty awesome. He looks like he should be in WWE at that size versus anything else. I don't understand why we're looking at defensive tackle. We got Jordan Davis with Carter. We good, plus no. Defensive tackle, and I'll give you it straight up, it's a major concern. Because everybody just assumes that Moro Ojomo is going to replace Milton Williams, right? It was like 5-6 weeks ago. I doubt I could find the exact numbers. Milton Williams played just over 500 snaps. I forget the exact number last year. People don't realize that Moro Ojomo played almost 400 snaps last year. So if Moro Ojomo is going to play Milt Williams 508 snaps last year, then who's going to play Moro Ojomo's near 400 snaps? So you still have 400 some snaps that got to be replaced. That's a major concern. 400 snaps is a lot of snaps. Jordan Davis, maybe he picks up 10 more snaps, 15 more snaps. You got to replace. I think it was Moro Ojomo played 388 snaps last year. So even if he picks up 100 of Milton Williams, you still got a lot of snaps to pick up. So defensive tackle is a major concern. Oh, so you're being sarcastic. Okay, gotcha. I missed the sarcastic part. Sorry about that. I thought you were serious in concern, because there are people that don't think defensive tackle is a problem. That Moro Ojomo is just going to replace Milton Williams and all be fine. The problem is Moro Ojomo played a lot. I don't think people realize how much Moro Ojomo actually played last year. I think that's the issue. Yeah, that 90 minutes did go by fast. Every 90 minutes with me goes by fast, mister. That's why we all got to like, share, subscribe. Because don't you want 100? Don't you want 100 or 120 minutes? We get the snap count up. We get the subscriber count up, the viewership up, those likes and those subscribes and those shares. The more people that tune in, the more minutes I can give you. They're decent defensive tackles in the fourth, fifth round. Absolutely. I'm not saying we have to get one in the first round. Now, if there's one that you have to get, you go get them. Get defensive end with your first or second round picks. I fully expect that. I do. We haven't talked much about Bryce Huff lately. What's going to happen with him? Have we changed our opinions whether he can get traded or whether he can have a rebound year or not? We're less than 3 weeks. Well, we're about 3 weeks away. I don't even know is it 3 weeks from Thursday, the draft? Like the 20th? Yeah, I think it's about 3 weeks from Thursday. Or is it 2 weeks from Thursday? I don't even know. My mind's focused on the Masters right now. And why Colin Morikawa, y'all should go drop a 20 on Colin Morikawa to win the Masters. I'm telling you. Colin Morikawa will win the Masters. Just a little sneak peek on Fairway to Heaven for tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Elise will be joining us, one of our favorite guests. She actually asked, she begged, ugly begging, but please let me on. No, I'm just kidding. Elise, I love you. That's where my focus is this week, the Masters. I will have my Masters dinner menu prepared for tomorrow. I'm telling you, oysters, a raw bar will be at my dinner menu. I am so on Huff. I think they will end up paying and trying to play him this season and drop him or trade him. I agree. I think that's what happens. I think it's unfair that DeJean isn't getting a shot at outside cornerback. He's losing a lot of money. Well, unfortunately, he's an elite slot corner. Slot corner is an important position in Vic Fangio's system. And I trust Howie will pay him accordingly. Okay? Yo, you want to be paid outside cornerback money? We'll get you outside cornerback money, but you got to play the slot because that's where you thrive. I don't think Howie would be like, oh, you're just a slot corner. We can't pay you. Howie's not that kind of guy. Howie will take care of Cooper no matter what. Watch that Brock Lesnar shows up at WrestleMania and Paul Heyman leaves with him. Who cares about WrestleMania? I don't. All I will say is, I will make one wrestling comment for Mitchie Poo. Okay? Has there ever been a wrestler as over in their hometown as CM Punk is in Chicago? Nobody. Nobody's ever been as over in their hometown, quite like CM Punk. Okay? In Chicago. Anyway, guys, we got to start the wrap-up process here. It's Monday. Like, share, subscribe. What's on tap this week? Obviously, Masters talk. My Masters dinner. Okay? Phillies starting a 3-game series with the Braves. On tap. More draft talk this week. If and when we trade at Dallas, Howie might use some of our picks for Kyle Pitts. Like J.D. Pitts has truly underwhelmed as a 9th overall pick. I've seen the talk about Kyle Pitts. I don't know financially what his situation is. We can't pay big money to a tight end, I don't think. So I don't know. If DeJean gets outside cornerback money, every slot is going to. Yeah, and teams will be screwed because of it. Howie always sets the bar for the rest of the league. It is what it is. He's not an outside or a slot corner. He's just a cornerback and one of the best in the league. And that's what he gets paid as one of the best cornerbacks. Not as an outside, not as a slot. It is what it is. If he's worth 20 as an outside and 8 as a slot, Howie will pay him 20. I would only be a 1-year rental, honestly, with Kyle Pitts. Yeah, I don't know. I've heard people talk about it. I don't get the attraction to Kyle Pitts. I don't get the allure of Kyle Pitts, whether here or elsewhere. He has underwhelmed massively. He hasn't had great quarterback play, but he hasn't had bad quarterback play. I mean, you got Kyle Pitts, you got Drake London, and you got Bijan Robinson. You would think Kyle Pitts, even with average quarterback play, would have been able to stand out a little bit more, but it is what it is. We got Eagles, we got all of it. And we're coming up this week on tap is the final full week of the Sixers season. K1, jumping in late. What's up with that? You missed a fun show. As Mr. said, that 90 minutes went by fast. You missed me talking golf. I got my green jacket out for you. We're going to be wearing this all week long for the Masters. Guys, but I got to wrap it up. It's time to say goodbye to all my friends and family. So with that being said, till tomorrow, guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I like Tyler Warren. That kid is a damn good football player. You would have to move up to the top 10, top 12 to get Tyler Warren. That's a lot of capital to trade up for a tight end. He might be that good, though. I don't know. It's time to wrap it up. That's what she said. Well, you have a great Monday as well. Yeah, pause. Always with the dirty jokes, Mitchie Poo. But I love you. Guys, with that being said, I got to wrap it up. Got to go to work. Got to make the dough, literally and figuratively. Have a great Monday. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. We'll see you tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Go Birds. Bubbles up.
Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 pop.